So going into this weekend, I'd picked Alabama versus Tennessee as the game of the week, and after watching it, that might just be the game of the year. I know there's a lot of college football left to be played, but that game had everything you could want. High-level quarterback play, offenses answering every time they needed to, and the level of excitement was just unbelievable. Today, we need to react to it. We need to talk about how Tennessee was able to beat Alabama for the first time since 2006 and everything in between. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you surprised at how Tennessee got this victory? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below as those interactions are massive. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And first and foremost, what high-level quarterback play we got. Bryce Young returning from injury. He looked like he never missed a beat, going for over 450 yards. He continues to prove that he is one of college football's most exciting, most dynamic, and best football players. But on the other side of the aisle, we also were treated to Hendon Hooker, who's been leading the #1 offense in college football, and they looked the part today. Hendon Hooker going for just shy of 400 yards, but Jalin Hyatt really stole the show for Tennessee, and that's not to diminish what Hendon Hooker did. Hendon Hooker was sensational. Whether they needed it done with his arm or with his legs, he was able to find an answer, but Jalin Hyatt, you talk about finding an answer. Tennessee had an answer for how to hurt Alabama's defense, and Alabama had no semblance of an answer for Jalin Hyatt. Josh Heupol was able to scheme him in situations where they could take advantage of him versus safety and man coverage, and they won those matchups consistently. So much so that Hyatt went for over 200 yards on only 6 touches, averaging 34 yards per reception and a long of 78 yards. So Alabama had no answer for that. If you're the Alabama Crimson Tide, you can only shoot yourself in the foot for so long before it catches up with you. And I know people are going to be talking about questionable calls in this game, but at the end of the day, this is not the first time we've seen Alabama rack up the penalties. Against Texas, we saw the same thing. Against Texas A&M, we saw the same thing. And once again today against Tennessee, it reared its head. Tennessee was just able to capitalize. So yes, there were questionable calls, but at the end of the day, if you're Alabama, they put themselves in way too many precarious positions, and it's the same thing we've seen rear its ugly head once again this season. Penalties have killed this team so many times. They would stop a drive or have positive momentum only for a penalty to just hurt them. And it wasn't relegated to one instance, because I know people are going to point to a certain few events, but it was something that was spread throughout the game and consistent throughout the game. So if you're Alabama, that's got to be something that's cleaned up. Bryce Young is as good of a quarterback as you could possibly find in college football. What he's able to do is just sensational, and he showed why he's the former Heisman winner. He is truly a magician. Jahmyr Gibbs is as good of a running back as you'll find as well, going for over 100 yards. Yes, the Crimson Tide may not have the wide receiver play they've had a few years ago, but they have a few dudes trying to get some things done. Some of the younger guys are stepping up. Drops continue to rear their head, and luckily Cameron Latou comes back and is the most veteran presence. But this Alabama offense showed today that they have the ability, so long as number 9 is leading them. They've just got to try and get out of their own way and play with more consistency, because if they do that, this is still an incredibly dangerous Alabama team. It's just about cleaning up those things, getting out of your own way. Luckily, if you're Alabama, this comes to an opponent that's in the East. So you, if you can win out in the West, can still make the SEC championship game where, who knows, you may just see Tennessee again. With as good as that offense is, I can't wait for that Tennessee-Georgia game. It's going to be high-powered. It's going to be amazing, but this is a huge win for the Tennessee Volunteers. Alabama has absolutely owned this rivalry in recent memory, and if you're a Tennessee fan, this win means a whole lot. First and foremost, it's the emergence of your program from a place that looked like it was heading into a dark few years. You hire Heupol, and in no time at all, he's got the Volunteers humming, and your future looks really bright. And what a better way to stamp the future you have in front of you than by beating Alabama. Yes, beating Alabama is big, but it's also symbolic for the future in front of you with Josh Heupol. I'm really interested to see what Tennessee does moving forward, because this looks like a team that could hurt a lot of people with the way their offense is playing. I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments. We are definitely going to be talking about this on Monday's live stream, 5:30 Central Standard Time. Can't wait to see you there. But before then, let me know what you're thinking about this game. That's it. See ya.